Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to our online learning initiative. I welcome you all for the science class. This lesson, the fundamental unit of life, already we completed about the types of the cell, shape, size, and then the number, based on the number, how we are going to call the cells, etc. And we saw about the discoveries also. Now we are going to move into the third topic of this lesson. You want to learn and you learn. So let us explore. Structural organization of the cell. I'll give you a clue. Just guess what it is. One looks like jelly-like appearance. Number one, we are going to see. And then, which acts as a barrier which protects the inner content of the cell. Another one literally acts like a brain. So, by this time, you would have guessed what it is. So, we are going to see nucleus, cytoplasm, and plasma membrane. Okay? So, we'll move one after the other. First, let us talk about this plasma membrane. If you see the structure of the plasma membrane, it is not a simple one layer. It is a bilipid layer, okay, made up of two. So you can see here lipid and protein. Let me highlight that. So protein and then the lipid. This lipid is bilipid layer, okay. Discovery, who discovered? Various scientists, they came out with different model of this plasma membrane, but ultimately he gave the exact model. I can say they, okay, Singer and Nicholson, they gave the exact model of the plasma membrane, but the plasma membrane name was coined by some other scientist. I think you can see on the screen. It is Nagley and Kramer who coined this term plasma membrane, and these both, Singer and Nicholson, they gave the model, fluid mosaic model. It is fluid in nature, like a mosaic pattern, the lipids are arranged. That is where the name comes as fluid mosaic model. Just an overview about this plasma membrane. If you see the location, it's just outside, acts like a barrier, I said, okay? And otherwise called as plasma membrane, the cell membrane, otherwise called as plasma membrane. I told it's a barrier. It separates the inside and the outside content of the cell, okay? And its major function to regulates the passage of in and out of the cell. Yes. What are the components made up of? Already in the beginning, we saw lipid and protein plays a major role. Apart from that, what are the other things? It's like phospholipid, cholesterol, protein, carbohydrates. These are all the components present in the plasma membrane. What's the function? Okay, the major function, since it is acting as a outer layer, it plays a major role, right? So it helps in molecular transport, okay, to move the food, water, okay, and the other things also across the membrane. It also acts as an enzyme, control metabolic process, and helps in the communication, cell-to-cell communication and recognition, so that the cells together form as a tissue, tissue together form as an organ system, and organism. Like this, the chain goes on. Other functions like it acts like a physical barrier, which we saw already, and then it is selectively permeable membrane. It is a very important characteristics of plasma membrane. Again, I'm stressing the word selectively permeable membrane. So it will not allow whatever want to enter or whatever want to exit. Okay, it allows selectively, okay, which is required, and it allows selectively to exit, which is not required. Another process, okay, that we are saying, coming in and going out. The other term, scientifically, we call it as exocytosis, endocytosis. Exo, out, exit, okay, endo, enter, entry. So these two processes are the major process: exocytosis, endocytosis, cell eating, okay, and this exocytosis, cell drinking. One more term, as I use the term cell drinking, I'll give the terminology also. Pinocytosis, which you may not find in your textbook. Just make a note. Cell drinking, pinocytosis. Exocytosis, cell vomiting, we can say. Okay, just throwing out the waste. Okay. And now I would like to discuss about the process, how the water is going to enter the cell and how the water leave the cell. Okay, we are going to conduct an experiment, a simple experiment. Resin, we all know. Okay, the dry grapes. The dry grapes, if you put it in the water, what happened overnight? If you soak it, the water enters and the grapes, the dry grapes or the resin swells up. So how it is entering through the permeable membrane? The word permeable means what? It is allowing. So water is allowed inside, it swells up. There are cases they lose water, the cell lose water and it shrinks. Okay, so that we are going to see in what medium it occurs and what do you call it as. Okay, so basically three mediums we are going to take: hypertonic, isotonic, and hypotonic. Okay, hyper is nothing but something is more. We used to say hyperactive, right? Overactive, it is a hyperactive. More active, we are saying like that. Something is more here. We all know this term: solute, solvent, solution. We read in chemistry. Solute is the solid particle. Solvent is the liquid particles. Otherwise, solvent, which is more, the medium, we can say. Solute is nothing but which dissolves in the solvent. Okay. So here in hypertonic, I can take sugar as a solute or salt as a solute. So I'm going to take a salt as a solute. Okay. And then water will be the solvent. So in hypertonic medium, the salt content will be more. In isotonic medium, it is in equilibrium condition. Okay. In hypotonic medium, hypo is a less. The solute concentration is less. So what is solute here? Sugar or salt? I've taken salt here. So here salt concentration is more in this medium. If any cell happen to be seen in this hypertonic medium, see the condition here. So the water is moving out. Okay, because water concentration is less in the medium. So the cell will lose water, and this you call it as what? What? Cytolysis or plasmolysis, that we are going to see in the next slide. Just first you observe here what will happen, whether it will lose water or the water will enter. In this case it will lose water. Okay, in isotonic medium, if you see, the entry and exit of the water is more or less in equilibrium condition. So the cell looks same. There is no increase in size of the cell or there is no decrease in the size of the cell. Okay, in hypotonic medium, if you see, water is entering into the cell. Why is it so happening? Solute concentration is less and water concentration is more. So the water from outside, it is moving into the cell, makes the cell swells up. Okay, so this condition you call it as hypotonic medium. And we will see the cell, how they will look like. Cytolysis and plasmolysis. Cytolysis, cyto, cell, lysis, death. Plasmolysis, okay? Same, the cell death only, but in a different condition. That we are going to see. Cell placed in distilled water. Okay, the cell swells up and bursts. This process you call it as cytolysis. Okay, I told you in the previous thing, the three medium. Okay, so in this condition, which is more and which is less, water is entering inside. See here, cell placed in distilled water, water enters inside. So whether it is in hypertonic or hypotonic or isotonic, it is hypertonic or hypotonic. Hypotonic. Water is going inside. Just observe here, water is going inside. Okay. So here the cell swells up and bursts, and the process you call it as cytolysis. In plasmolysis, what happened? Cells placed in concentrated salt solution, and the cell will lose water and the cell shrink and shrivel. This process called as plasmolysis. Okay. Now we'll move to the second one in the structural organization of the cell, the jelly-like substance. is nothing but cytoplasm. So this is jelly-like substance. Okay, this is a most common word we'll be using, jelly-like, because it's so sticky and all these contents, cellular contents, are present in that jelly-like medium. Okay, the cell membrane and an eukaryotic cell surrounds the nucleus. This one, the location they are just showing here. Just observe this point. The organelles of eukaryotic cells, such as mitochondria and all other organs, are dispersed in this cytoplasm. What is the role of cytoplasm? We saw what is cytoplasm. What is the role? Just now I said, okay, but still more in detail we can see. It is a site of metabolic process such as biosynthesis of fatty acid, sugar, protein, etc. Okay, so this point is very important. Just make a note. It is a site of metabolic process, and it also distributes the other components also. It helps in exchange of materials. Then it also acts as a storehouse. It also helps in exchange of materials within the environment as well as the extracellular fluid. So these are the major functions of cytoplasm. Next, protoplasm. You'll have a confusion with cytoplasm and protoplasm. Just observe and make a note about their difference. This protoplasm is the components, all the components of a cell, including the content of the cell membrane, is known as protoplasm. So it is including the content of the cell membrane. It is also jelly-like, colorless, viscous, semi-fluid in nature, same like cytoplasm, but it can be distinguished from a centrally located nucleus and surrounding cytoplasm. We can differentiate this one. So this is protoplasm and the other one is the cytoplasm. Okay. The next important thing, that is like literally I said, no, acting like a brain, it's nothing but the nucleus. It plays a major role. First, we'll see the location, where it is located. Sometimes it is located in the center or it will be located in the periphery region. So depending upon the cytoplasm content, okay, the nucleus can be in the center if it is less. If the cytoplasm content is more, it can be pushed to the peripheral region. So there are differences for their location. Who discovered this nucleus? Robert Brown in the year 1831. The structure of the nucleus, if you see, is a spherical ball-like structure. It also have another spherical ball inside, and that you call it as nucleolus. You can see very well the structure. Outer membrane is called as nuclear membrane, and it is called as nuclear envelope. It is also double membrane, like this double membrane bound structure. Okay, and then over that the ER got stitched over. You can see the ER. The ER will be located like this. Yes, that is over bound over the nuclear membrane. And this nuclear membrane will have a tiny pore. Okay, it will not be in a continuous form. There is a gap like this and then another structure. Again, there is a gap like this, there is a structure. So that gap you call it as pore, nuclear pore. Okay. So we'll see here, the nucleus is the enveloped by a double membranous structure called nuclear envelope. It has a numerous pores that allow transport of materials. It's called nuclear pores. Okay, that numerous pore, tiny pore, we call it as nuclear pore. It has a dense sap liquid present and that you call it as nucleoplasm. The structure of nucleus you can see. The space between these two nucleus. 1 second. The space between the nucleus, we call it as perinuclear space. And here is the mRNA, another genetic material. Okay. And then this chromatin, we will not call it as chromosomes, it is a chromatin. And when it is condensed during cell division stage, that time you call it as chromosome. Okay, you can see the nuclear sac, otherwise called as karyoplasm. And then the another ball, spherical ball-like structure I said, right? That is nothing but nucleolus. Okay, and the ER seen to be attached here. Types of nucleus based upon the number we are going to categorize the nucleus: uninucleated, binucleated, trinucleated, okay, as well as multinucleated. When there is no nucleus, we call it as what? Enucleated. So you can see uninucleated mostly plant cell, binucleated paramecium, liver cell, cartilage cell, multinucleated striated muscle cells and bone marrow cells, enucleated absence of cell, our mammalian RBC cell. So what's the function of nucleus? As I said, brain, so it has a major role. So cell division means nucleus plays a major role. The nucleus is the storehouse of the genes. Okay, the genes, where it is stored? It is in the DNA, you are saying. So where is the DNA? It is in the chromosome. Where is the chromosome? Ultimately, it is there in that ball that is nothing but nucleus. So genes control the production of enzymes, without which there cannot be a metabolic activity. So these genes are very important. And where are the genes? It is in the nucleus. It regulates the cell cycle. It is related to the transmission of hereditary characteristics. So who is doing that? Gene is doing. So where is the gene? In the nucleus. So at last, where we are going? The core, the importance of nucleus only. The nucleolus synthesizes molecules necessary for the production of ribosome. So now we are going into the nucleus. In that, I said, no, the chromatin, thread-like structure. And that chromatin, when it is condensed, you can see that condensed form is nothing but the chromosome. So we'll see about the chromosome and DNA. The chromosomes of a cell are in cell nucleus. They carry genetic information. The chromosomes are made up of DNA and protein. This chromosome, once it was like this, thread-like structure, okay, inside the spherical body. But later what happened? It condensed, okay, and it looks like this. And inside there is a coil, and that coil you call it as what? DNA. And this is chromosome. Okay, each chromosome contains many genes. When they duplicate, chromosome look like a letter X. You can see that very well here. So now we are going into the chromosome. Into the chromosome, the double helical structure. What do you call it as? DNA. As deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay. Ribonucleic acid. It is a genetic material passed from parent to offspring, and it serves as the information to direct and regulate construction of protein synthesis, okay, and perform other function. In simple, the DNA, which is having the gene, and the gene is responsible for the hereditary transformations, right? So we'll move to the next topic. Okay, another protecting layer is nothing but the cell wall. Robert Hooke, he found the cell wall in 1665. The microscopic wall, I'll show you in the next slide. Just see what is the cell wall. Plant cells have additional protective wall outside the plasma membrane called cell wall, which is absent in animal cell. Okay, it is relatively thick, non-living and rigid envelope. Okay, that is why it is giving a support, skeletal framework also we can say. It is permeable and made up of cellulose. Cellulose is a material which is seen in the cell wall of the plant. Okay, now you are going to find out what is the cell wall of fungus. Okay, fungus cell wall and bacterial cell wall made up of. In next video, I'll tell you the answer for this. Okay, what is made up of? there is a, sorry, cell wall of a fungus is made up of which chemical composition, or bacterial cell wall is made up of in which chemical composition? Like we are saying cellulose here, and there what it is made up of. Okay. So here you can see the microscopic view of a cell wall. Even in laboratory experiments we done about the onion peel structure. In that also we observe the cell wall, a thick layer, okay, brick like arrangement, the same exactly like this we observe in the microscope. And when it is magnified you can see how well it is looking. This is the structure of a cell wall. It has a middle lamella. Okay, leave this plasma membrane. It is present in both plant cell and animal cell. It is a primary cell wall also. It is made up of pectin, cellulose, and glycan. Okay, this primary cell wall made up of. And the other layer which is called as middle lamella above the primary cell wall. So middle lamella function is the cementing function. Okay. The primary wall is the first formed elastic wall. It is the important 1-mark question, which is the first formed elastic wall, primary cell wall. The secondary cell wall occurs in inner to the primary wall. So here only primary wall we have marked. There is one more like S1, S2, S3. 3 types of secondary cell wall. So what is the function of this cell wall? It determines the shape, prevents desiccation, protects the internal structure, helps in transport of various substances. So next class, we'll see the different organelles of the cell. We discussed about totally structural organization of the cell, types of the cell, and the discovery of the cell. Now, next video, we will see about the different cell organelles. Thank you.